Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Cop charged with wife's murder to stand trial in 2023. Kirk Lawrence, the policeman who was charged with murdering his wife during a dispute at their home in Tower Isle, St. Mary 2 years ago, is to stand trial on July 3, 2023. The date was set by Chief Justice Brian Skikes when the cop's case was mentioned in the St. Mary Circuit Court on Monday. Lawrence was charged with murder in connection with the shooting death of 45-year-old Janet Hardy Lawrence on May 28, 2019. In addition to the trial date being set, a case management hearing is to be held in July of this year. Lawrence, who has been in custody since his arrest for the murder, is yet to take up a $5 million bail offer from another judge in December of last year. Skikes extended the bail offer to the accused cop. Police blotters indicated that on Tuesday, May 28, 2019, at about 6:30 a.m., Lawrence and his wife, who was a businesswoman, were engaged in an argument at their house in Jamaica Beach, Tower Isle. Residents reported that they then heard loud explosions and alerted the police. On their arrival, the now accused officer, who was assigned to the Trelawney Police Division, was found by his fellow law enforcers at the main entrance of the house. Hardy Lawrence was found with several gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at hospital. According to the Independent Commissioner of Investigations, Indicom, which probed the case, the police found 2 guns, a service pistol and a live firearm, which were both connected to the accused policeman, along with 12 spent shells on the scene. The detective corporal was reportedly questioned in the presence of his attorney, and a file was subsequently sent to the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, who ruled for Lawrence should be charged with murder. At the time of the incident, there were conflicting reports surrounding the couple's troubled marriage. Interestingly, the detective corporal reportedly detailed his troubles in a voice note to his colleagues, in which he allegedly confessed to have killed his wife moments before the recording. Reputed G-City gangster gets 15-year sentence for murdering woman. A reputed member of the St. James-based G-City gang, 24-year-old Omar Troy Johnson, who pleaded guilty to the February 2020 murder of Sybil Malcolm, was sentenced to 15 years in prison in the St. James Circuit Court last week. He will have to serve 14 years before he becomes eligible for parole consideration. Johnson, otherwise called Little, a chef at Bucktoe Lane, Salt Spring, St. James, pleaded guilty to the murder in the St. James Circuit Court on March 10. Reports are that about 2:45 a.m. on February 15, 2020, the 57-year-old Malcolm was at her Cornwall Court, St. James home with her daughter and granddaughter when their home was invaded by a lone gunman. Malcolm was shot during a struggle with the armed invader. She was taken to hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries while undergoing treatment. Johnson was subsequently arrested and charged. Holness meets with family of slain Portmore woman. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has assured the relatives of Khanice Johnson that the government takes the matter of her murder very seriously. On Saturday, Holness and some members of the police force, including Deputy Commissioner in charge of crime Fitz Bailey, visited Jackson's home in Independent City, Portmore, St. Catherine. In speaking with Jackson's mother, Eunice Chambers, Holness described her daughter's killing as heartless. "I can only come and express my deep sadness and the outrage at what has happened, but I am particularly touched by this heartless, senseless killing, and we are observing that there are increased attacks on our women," said Holness. "What I wanted to do today in visiting is to give assurance that the government takes this matter very seriously. We are observing a trend and we are putting in place measures," he continued. Meanwhile, Chambers said she has been devastated at the killing of her only daughter. She expressed hope that her child's killer will rot in jail. A man has been taken into custody in relation to Jackson's murder, and the investigations are progressing, while the police assuring that charges will be laid in short order. Jackson's body was found on Friday morning along the Dyke Road in Portmore, near the fishing village. Hours later, the male suspect was reportedly held in the halfway tree area of St. Andrew. The Waterford police reported that about 7 a.m., a resident stumbled upon the body and summoned the police. The body was clad in a black shirt and blue jeans, and the remains were in a state of partial decomposition. Jackson, an accounting clerk of Portmore, was last seen alive on Tuesday, March 23rd, according to the police. Preliminary reports are that she was abducted while at the bus stop in Portmore. Man allowed to withdraw guilty plea in relation to ex-lover's murder. In a shocking twist that left the prosecution and the presiding judge stunned on Thursday, the attorney for Jermaine Miller, the Manchester man who recently pleaded guilty to killing his ex-girlfriend, has asked for his client to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. Miller, a resident of Hopetoun District in Hatfield, Manchester, pleaded guilty to murder and burglary when he appeared in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court on March 16. However, following the submission from his attorney Richard Lynch, before the start of Miller's sentencing hearing on Thursday, presiding judge Justice Evans Brown acceded to the request for the psychiatric evaluation. Consequently, Miller's guilty plea was vacated and a mentioned date on July 25th was set for the case. Earlier, the prosecution questioned whether the request by the defense was an attempt to have Miller plead guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter. But, after considering the defense position, Justice Brown said he considered it to be fair despite the negative effects the turns of events would have on the victim's family. The accused man was further remanded in custody. It was reported that the now-deceased woman, 27-year-old Nevia Sinclair, ended her relationship with Miller and returned to her parents' home in Brickley District, St. Elizabeth, a week before her death. Further reports are that on Sunday, January 12, 2020, at about 11:50 p.m., Sinclair was at home with her parents when the parents heard screaming. When they checked, they reportedly saw Miller running from the house. The parents also found Sinclair in a pool of blood with stab wounds. She was taken to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Miller was subsequently handed over to the police by his father and was later charged. Holness slaps rumors he did not take COVID-19 vaccine. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Friday denied rumors suggesting that he did not actually receive a dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine in Kingston last Monday. The nurse was highly proficient in administering the shot. I didn't feel any pain greater than a mosquito bite. The needle is one of the thinnest gauge and pierces the skin and muscles easily, the Prime Minister said. He noted that the vaccines trigger the immune system in the body to develop the natural capability to fight the virus if the person is exposed to it. And upon receiving the vaccine, therefore, he continued, the immune system should start to react by producing the antibodies to fight the infections. Holness said by 11 p.m. on the night of taking the vaccine, he began to feel the effects of his immune system reacting to it. I had a low-grade fever, which lasted throughout the night and in the morning. Nevertheless, I was still able to fulfill my appointments, including an international meeting and debating matters in Parliament, he stated. By Wednesday morning, after going to bed early on Tuesday night, I was fine, except that the area where I got the jab is mildly sore. The reports from persons who have taken the vaccine are similar to my experience of slightly elevated temperature, tardiness, and mild soreness at the infection spot for a day or two, he added. I am told that the immunity does not take some time to build, so I am still maintaining all the protocols to prevent infection and spread, the Prime Minister added. Holness went on to explain that the process of vaccination is only effective in ending the pandemic when there are enough members of the population who have immunity to the disease. In other words, if the virus gets into your body, the natural immune system can fight it on its own without need for hospital care or even medicines, he stated. As the virus is new to the human population, our immune system is naive to it. Our immune system doesn't have the antibodies readily produced and deployed to attack and kill the virus before it causes a disease or impairment of a proper functioning of the body. Vaccination is a well-established science of getting the immune system to preemptive response to an invading virus without developing the disease it causes, he noted. There are many fears being stoked and circulated against vaccination. While I am no expert, most of the concerns are sufficiently addressed in readily available information from trusted sources, Holness pointed out. What I do know is that the pandemic will not end until the population has developed immunity, either by the virus infecting a large percentage of the population, which would lead to a kind of natural selection where persons with strong immunity to this particular virus would survive and those with weak or weakened immunity would die if they are unable to prevent infection. Or we could go the route of getting the vaccine and building the immunity preemptively in the population, increasing the chance of our collective survival, Holness stated. Holness and his wife Juliet, as well as leader of the opposition Mark Golding, received their COVID-19 vaccine jabs at the Good Samaritan Inn last Monday in a joint effort to encourage the Jamaican population to use the vaccines as a deterrent to COVID-19. However, some Jamaicans have claimed that the vaccine is useless and accused the government of carrying out the dictates of U.S. multi-billionaire businessman Bill Gates. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.